Hey guys, and welcome back to some more Factorio sending supporters to space. And we are over here by the red circuits. I have a couple things I'd like to do today, and I'm pretty excited because one of them does involve building a new build for one of the products we need. We're going to work on engine units. However, before we do that, I'd like to explain a few things here to you guys because I didn't really explain it in detail last time, and yeah, you may be wondering. And this time I'm going to try not to be a complete idiot and stop my recording halfway through by accidentally hitting the wrong hotkey. But anyway, first off, the Switcheroo. Someone said in the last video, they commented and they said that they didn't really understand how the Switcheroo worked, but then once they kind of saw it working, they had a better idea. Unfortunately, our production is not very high right now because we're just not consuming stuff fast enough, so it's pretty much off, but this is kind of what it looks like. So this, you can see, actually, here's a perfect example. So this copper ore train just left. This copper ore train's coming in. And here's one that comes in. This is an Outpost train. He goes into the Switcheroo. There's still space open here. So this guy pulls in and stops here. And once he is there, it turns off this station. Once there's a train here and a train here, it turns off the station, which means that if there were more trains, like once all these are on, if there were more trains, right, they would never try to go to this particular station. They're all named the same, but this station's off. So to any other trains, it just doesn't exist, which means that it helps even out the trains and have them path to places that actually need them rather than only pathing to like one station that's closest, because that's what they would normally do. Now some of these are a little bit different. Like this guy is set to turn off if or turn on, or stay on if less than 3 signals are red. Whereas these are set to 2 signals. And the reason for that is because this one has this little curvy pre-stacker here. So this can actually hold 3 trains before it turns off. One in it, one behind it, similar to this one, and then one in this curvy area as well. So that's kind of how those are a little bit different. You can see here, this one's turned off because there's trains here. Now this one is a little bit, this one should not actually be turned off. This one should actually have a train here. This, like I said, there's some tweaking. There's so many details with this, guys. I may need Hopewell to come in here and look, because yeah, this guy should go into here. That's what that should be, because these should both have 2 waiting, and then he should, and then one more here, and then it would turn off, I think. And we'll actually see unless he's going here. No, he is going here. So once he's there, it should turn off. Yeah, so that's how that should work. Again, tweaking. The iron probably needs some tweaking. But yeah, we are, circuits are kind of on again a little bit. We are making modules. I did turn on the module producers over here. I have 2 speed module builds and a prod module build. I have another prod module I haven't turned on yet. I speeded all of them because we need them faster. We are building them up. We're making like 16 or 20 a minute, which isn't bad. You know, I still need a couple thousand, but they can just run while I do other stuff. Another just quick thing, I did set up another copper outpost. This is a wonky outpost, guys. This one, because it's so close to the main line, I had to actually come off to the right and then down so we could fit our stacker, and it comes back here. It's a little bit wonky, but this one is very high richness but smaller, so I actually speed modeled all the miners from the get-go, just because it was so small but so rich, you know. I have assigned 4 trains to this. This is like massive copper right here. I need more iron. We did set up another iron outpost here. And one thing I want to touch on for outposts and optimizing them, and this is the type of thing that really needs to be done on the Mad Science map that I don't know if they're ever going to do or not. Couple things. First off, I discussed with the design team and we concluded that having stations on either end like this is a fair bit better for bot travel than having them 2 next to each other like I did have on, where did it go? On this one. I changed this one, but like this guy, right? This is not very good for a couple reasons. One, because any bots going to here have to travel across the entire patch to deliver. And then also, since the bots are like lazy, kind of like trains, and go to the closest typically, pretty much you can see that like only this half or this third of the patch is being pulled from. Even if I added more trains and stuff, it kind of really unevenly mines the patch. So I will need to change this eventually. Also, there's some bot charging issues, which might be part of that. But doing it this way on either side of the patch means that, you know, they can, you know, fly kind of to the middle and then go out to the one closest to them rather than flying across the whole thing again, because they'll probably choose the closest. And then also it helps mine the patch more evenly. So that's a quick note. And then also we did reduce inserters here. This one only has 3 loading rather than 6, because you really don't need 6, especially with our system, because if I go back to the switcheroo here, the smelters are only 3 unload and 3 load, which means that that's really where the limit's going to be. And yes, that is enough for the smelters. We did calculate that, but the point is that, you know, you don't need like 6 inserters per wagon on an outpost, when when your smelters can really only do 3 inserters worth, if that makes sense. And I forgot one. Ruh-roh. And inserters do matter. When our seating looked at the mad science map, he said that the bots were our highest UPS using thing, and right after them were inserters. So reducing inserters where you can is important. So just a quick thing on Outpost, and that's pretty much all the explaining I want to do. I want to work on engine units. A build, and we're down by red circuits because we're going to pretty much do the red circuit build for the engines, except that obviously the red circuit machines are going to be engine machines, and then the cable machine here is actually going to be a pipe machine. I discussed with Can and Hopewell a bit about trying to, like, we didn't know if it would be better to do this method or to just have pipes, like, just standalone, like, in the middle, and then have bots deliver them. It is more inserters to do it this way, but it would save quite a few bots because the engine units take 2 pipe a piece, and that would require the bots flying them around everywhere, right? They would have to fly the iron to the pipes and then take the pipes and fly them everywhere across the build to the engines. So I think reducing the amount of trips, so now they just have to deliver iron to the pipe, and then the pipe directly inserts through the boxes to the engines, is going to be better overall. It makes the build a little bit bigger, but it's actually still smaller than this build and nowhere near as high throughput. Like, it's not going to be nearly as bot intensive, just because, you know, these are faster. They take 6 seconds, engines take 10, and these require 2 circuits and 2 plastic, whereas the engines just require steel and a gear as well. So that's kind of the thinking behind this. I'm taking a blueprint of this simply because it's just easier to modify it that way. Trying to figure out, so we blueprint, can add another one of them. Okay, I know I'm gonna need to add a beacon to the left here, but this is actually easier. So we're gonna take this blueprint. Screw you, game. Let's actually stick this somewhere I'm gonna know where it is, and then also we want a blueprint of the track, because the track's gonna be pretty much identical. We're gonna have 3 products: iron, steel, and gears coming in, and then we're going to have the engines going out. And the engines will be delivered to the electric engines. I also debated doing, like, engines at the electric engines through direct insertion or something, maybe like the rocket fuel build, but decided that overall it would probably just be easiest to deliver the engines there. I think, yeah, there was a reason. I don't remember the exact reason why, but so this would be the same pretty much. The station, in terms of what way they're facing, may be slightly different. Get rid of this. And actually, I probably want the roboports. Damn it. I wanted those. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go up somewhere. This is not necessarily, wherever I build this is not going to be where it's going to go. It's just, I'm going to find an open area to build it, blueprint it, and then we'll move it. I'm thinking, like, all my science stuff, I'm thinking I may want above the main line, and honestly, based on this, I may want pretty much everything above the main line aside from the rest of the stuff that's going in here, because I don't really want to landfill this entire thing, because 1, it makes it kind of boring. So cool watching these trains come in. And 2, I mean, steel's going to come up here, so I feel like it would be good to have, like, low-density structures and stuff in this area, because steel could just go, like, straight in almost, because this crap, this would not be here, this junk in here. Very soon we do need to nuke this. Nuke me. So yeah, like, low densities and stuff in here probably. Engine units, maybe we could, I mean, there's a fair bit of room up here. You know, we don't want these junctions too close, and most of these actually are pretty permanent. They may be cleaned up a little bit, but most of these are fairly permanent. So, you know, there is a 363 space in between each one of these. However, you know, you still don't want like a bajillion junctions really close to each other once this gets busy. So I'm not sure where we want it. So just keep in mind that wherever we build this right now is not where it's going to go. This area is kind of open, but up here is pretty open, actually. Just stick it up here temporarily. Let me just make sure. Oh, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to just plomp him down. Might actually want my materials for my helicopter. Probably be smart. In fact, it would probably be smart to move it closer to the build. But, yeah, you guys were very encouraging, seemed very excited about last episode when we turned things on, which is fantastic. Some people actually thought that I'd canceled the series, which I don't blame you, because I took a really long time to get an episode out, as I explained, but, definitely not canceling it. We're actually getting quite close. Like this, we're going to finish the engine build this episode. It's really actually quite simple. So all we do here is we just change these dudes to engines, like this. And we still want to pass through. This guy is going to be pipe. And same practices as always. I will go through this just because I know some people enjoy the details. Maybe they missed it. Maybe they forgot. We do want these facing, excuse me, facing the way they are, with the requesters closer towards the delivery and pickup in the middle here, right? And then, so this guy, wow, excuse me, I cannot talk. Have a sip of water. Okay, so this guy needs to request gears, steel, and then iron for this guy. And then these need to, because this is for the outer ones here. Although, actually, how did that work? Did this guy, he like went there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to clear this blueprint. Let me set these requests and stuff. So he needs to request, typically like these were set to request about a minute worth of production for each thing. So if we like, we can actually do a little bit, I should have probably done this beforehand, but it's pretty quick math. So if we, in fact, I can actually write it out for you guys here in the, get out of the way. Quill mod, open selected note. There's no select. Screw you. Really? Didn't I have a note here? Did it get rid of it? Probably got rid of it for some reason. Okay, so what we do is we need to figure out how many materials this is going to require. So to do that, we do the amount that's going to produce, which is 1. Or sorry. Yeah, and then you divide that by the time it takes to produce it, which is 10 seconds. And then you multiply that by the speed of the assembler, which is 5.5. And if you want an output amount, so how many engines we're going to get, you would then multiply that by the productivity amount, which would be 1.4. But we're not concerned about that. What we're concerned about is the input amount. So we don't factor in the productivity, right? We just need to figure out like how many materials we would need for engines, period, at this speed, because the productivity is essentially free, right? So we do this. Obviously, this is not a calculator, so I'm going to calculate it here. And then you times that by 5.5, which is 50.55 a second, and I want a per minute rate, so times 60. So we make about 33 per minute, considering I did this correctly. 33 per minute. So that means that, screw you, game. I don't want to go away. So these need just one of each. So is that really it? 33 per minute? That seems like really low. I mean, they do take 10 seconds. One assembler does 33 a minute. And they take, well, that's how many materials input. So let's, I think this is right. Red circuits were requesting so much more, but I think that's because, well, one, they're faster. They're almost twice as fast, and they require more materials. I feel like I'm doing something wrong here, potentially. If we request like 35, that should be enough, right? I mean, that makes sense. I mean, they take 10 seconds. Yeah, so if we request like 30, screw you, 35 gears and 35 steel. And then this one is a double, right? He supplies 2 engines, so we want to double that. So that would be 70 gears. I don't know why I'm like randomly, it should probably 70 and 70. And then the, I don't know if it matters which slot I request them in, but in case it does for some reason, this number still seems low. Don't, I don't know if something seems wrong there, but, and then this guy also needs to request iron for him. And, he's gonna have a very limited, low uptime, right? This pipe machine can actually supply about 10, engine machines. So this is gonna have a low uptime, so we don't really need to request quite as much for this. I mean, this guy makes the same amount as, circuits do, the same amount of stuff. Actually, no, a little bit less, because this guy actually takes speeds. You cannot productivity pipes. Actually, let's go ahead and finish beaconing this, because that is going to make a difference here. Do that, and without power, I'm not going to be able to get a full... I do not recall the speed of an assembler that is speed beacon and speed moduled, because I very rarely do that. You know, because obviously you want to productivity anything that you can. Doesn't matter if we power it on. I mean, there's nothing... Great. Thanks, game. That's temporary. 8.75. Okay, so for this guy, technically... He could do, he gives us 1 per craft time, or divided by 0.5, right? He takes half a second to make, and then times 8.75, that's 17.5 a second. He can give us, I believe, does this give us? Yeah, I believe that's right. So we would need like 1,050 iron a minute to supply this fully, but he's only going to be working at a little less than 50% uptime. It's about 40%. So if we take that and we then multiply 1,050 by 0.4, let's get 40% of that, it's 420. I'm going to do just 450, a little bit over. I don't think it may mess with bots a little bit, but not too bad. So that's what that's going to look like. So there we go. We have all this. He passes through. These probably should be limited. Are these unlimited? It's probably unlimited, aren't they? Oh yeah, I didn't limit those. What an idiot. Let's just limit this to like 2. I really should have limited those. I'll have to go back and do that. And then this guy, that's fine. He's not fine. So let's copy this, paste to that. Still seems low, but like I said, I mean, these guys, they only take 1 of each. Yeah, I mean, I think that's right. So, boom, boom, boom. He's good to go. So now let's get rid of this crap. And let's make a new blueprint of all of this. And we need about 88 engine assemblers to produce the amount we need. I think we need like... Yeah, I want to say like 8,000 or 6,000 or something. I can actually look here very quickly. If I pull up advanced circuit... Electric circuit, engine, production. Come on, where the hell is engine unit? Engine unit. We need 3,000 electric mining drills, engine. Wow, this, my sheet is like not arranged particularly well. Engine unit, we need a little over 4,000, so we need about 88 machines to produce that much. So if we just do... Oh, okay, so get rid of that. Just making sure that's correct. Overlap like so. We are missing a few things. Beacons, not surprising. Yeah. This thing, I really... What a pain, dude. I hate being... I know I've, like, ranted on this before, but it's really frustrating to have to blueprint something to get rid of an empty blueprint. I really hope that's fixed or changed. Okay, so then we have 4 engine assemblers per thing. So we've placed 3. That's 12. We are going to have... Let me stick some of this crap in here. Get rid of this stupid wood. Get rid of a mining drill. Okay, so that's 12. We need 88. So if I did like 44 per side, that would be ideal. However, we do have to take into account that there are pipe things in here, which is going to throw off the size a little bit. So if we did 44 per side, this is 12. We probably want to taper it, I would imagine. So let's see. If I do one more, that's 16. We need another one. It's getting a little bit long. It does kind of need to match our track. I mean, our track is like this long. So this is almost good, actually. If we look at this guy, right? Not that guy. This guy, it actually extends past the roboports, the building. This is actually 3 rows. We could do 3 rows. I feel like 2 would work out slightly better. So this, I think we could go 1 more safely, especially because, like I said, bots are actually going to be lower here. Because it's just lower like throughput and demand on ingenious than red circuits. So if we do that, that's, I don't know, what was that, 20? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24? Really? 1? Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Okay, so 24, and then the row behind it would be 20, right? Because we want 44 per thing. That should work. It would be tapered. So 20 should be 4 off each. My brain hurts a little bit. Trying to figure this crap out. Okay, so if we lined him up, so 4, if we lined him up not like that, if we lined him up like that, would that work even? I may end up having to tear this down. I'm not sure if this is actually going to work out properly. We'll have to we'll have to see here. Okay, so that was 8, 12, 16, and 20. See, he lines up with the pipes, not the other thing. Crap. Oh, it's because I lined up... Oh. I see what I did. Okay, because it's... Well, that's a bit of a pain. I think I can actually get around that, guys. I think... Oh, I always seem to miss the chest when I go to deconstruct something. I think I just potentially aligned it not quite correctly. We want to align the units with, like, the way they are, pretty much. So, like this guy. That's... But we only want 4 off. Yeah, I can't really... I'd almost have to change the arrangement, potentially. I could just overbuild. If I just overbuild a little bit, it won't hurt that much. Actually, now that I think about it, because we want like 2 off of each end. Which means that the way I had it, however that may have been, like this, was correct. No, I'm trying to think, because this is a little bit off. We would almost need to rearrange how it's done. I mean, it doesn't have to taper, but I think it would help having less in the back row tapered in. Now that's going to still line up. Yeah, that does line up slightly odd. If we line it up pipe to pipe, that's 4 less off of each end, which is going to be too much. It may end up... Were these tapered? Okay, these weren't even tapered. So that's interesting. I wonder if that was intentional. I think that was actually kind of Hopewell's design. Actually, I think we're missing prod modules here. I mean, it doesn't have to be tapered. It may help, but honestly, I may be better off just building 2 full rows. It's still going to be way smaller than the red circuits. Overproduction wouldn't be bad either. Okay, let's just build 2 full rows. If we want to take some off, at least this way they'd be lined up and it would be easier to take stuff off. We should have just done that from the beginning. And this is I mean, this is the design process, right, guys? So if you're bored and you don't like seeing this, then I don't want to hear any complaints when I just skip entire build design processes, because this is what it is. This is what we go through, and this one's easy. Like, this is why I skip some of them, because it literally can take hours to get every little thing right, and for what we're trying to do here, it does matter getting everything right, because, speaking of which, it kind of sucks. Okay, what if we line it, oh, you suck. Oh wait, no, he doesn't. What a pain, dude. Oh, because, like, neither one of these hits. Oh, no, he does hit that. Okay, so if we do this... What the hell, man? Yeah, because he covers that, and then... Okay, so that works. So, these guys are all good. And then come down here. I don't remember... I guess it does need to be even, and I can't remember. 1, 2, 3. He's lined up with... neither of them. Of course not. If I put him... Yeah, he's not going to cover top. Okay, well that kind of has to be that way then. Okay, so... Oh no, I think that was like... 1, 2, 3, like out there. And then this one... like that. Should work, right? These guys are missing modules, but that's fine. And then the track, like I said, we may flip some of the stations around, which would require moving some of the chests around, because the trains line up differently when they're turned the other way, but I'm not sure. I think I'm still missing prod modules. Did I really not bring enough? Come on. Alright, that may do it for this video, guys. I'm not sure how long it's been. I'm guessing it's been an entire episode, but the other half is just going to be this, but flipped, essentially. And then the track, like I said, power pole is right smack dab in the way. Of course I put the power pole right where the track's going to need to go. And yes, I know I said this is not going to go here, which it's not, but it's still find a place of loading stations, because those are going to essentially... be with the build always. Like, they're not gonna, you know, they go where the build goes, the loading stations, essentially. So I'll just do this as one last part. If we zoom out here, centering this is pretty important. So that's 3 beacons, that's 3 beacons. I mean, you're not gonna, because track moves on 2 tile sets, essentially. Like, track moves by 2 tiles, not 1. So we're never gonna be able to get this perfectly centered. I could center the whole build on this, though, which I probably should do. I probably should. So, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to place this, and then I think I'm going to end the video, and off camera, I'm going to tear up everything I just did, and we'll blueprint it first, and then move it so it's centered on this, because this I can move by, like, a tile, right? Because there's no track in this. So then this, I will center on the RoboPort track thing. And we may not need this many RoboPorts for engines. Like I said, it's a lot lower demand and throughput than circuits. But I want to center it, like, on the middle ones, I guess. I don't know. I mean, how much time do we have? We're at 29 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to end this one. I'm going to tear this up off camera. Center it, put it on top. The engine build will then be done. Electric engines will be even simpler. They do require lube, but we'll pretty much just do the, we'll actually just do the blue circuit build. See, this is a cool thing, right? Once you get some of these builds made, you can almost reuse them for other stuff. So engines will just be the blue build, except electric engines and requesting circuits and normal engines rather than red circuits and green circuits, right? And I mean, and the loop can go in the same way. And then that's that. We have assemblers done. We have drills done, if you don't remember, because I keep forgetting over here. And then that only leaves low density structures, rock control units. We already have rocket fuel done. Just need to build out this build. It's already blueprinted. This build's completely done. And that leaves, we have that. That leaves speed module build, the other circuit builds, and I think there's like, a furnace build, which is going to be fairly straightforward. I'm not sure if I want to, I think I'll put brick smelting like kind of next to it and have a little tram train deliver it. I think I'll have to think about that. But I mean, we're pretty close. I mean, I just designed pretty much the entire engine build on one episode, so it's not going to be long, really, guys. And then I'm thinking 6 silos, making the satellites probably on site like we did in Mad Science, and having the materials delivered for the satellites, which I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to do that. We probably will want like a little solar panel and accumulator build, kind of like in Mad Science. And I'm not quite sure where we'll put that. I wanted to put labs in a lake. Maybe the labs go like in here or something. There's some really great lakes on this map though. Like here, over here looks kind of cool, like around a desert. That'd be kind of nice. I need to add more outposts, but that is like stream work, so no big deal there. Steel smelters we need to build, but we already have kind of an outline sketch. I need to flip a few things with the stations, but shouldn't be too difficult. And then that's pretty much it. We should have been making modules this whole time. 24 a minute. Should have built up quite a few here. I mean, I yoinked 300 from this chest before I even started. You know, 500, 1200 here already. You know, we're doing good. That's going to do it for this one, guys. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Love to hear any thoughts you have down in the comments. As always, appreciate you watching. As always, I'm getting more and more excited each episode, as I think you guys are as well. We are getting closer and closer, and man, I can't wait until we just turn it on. It's going to be so awesome. But anyway, if you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and take care.